Remember when I bought those DVDs of old TV shows I liked so we could, like, quote unquote, make fun of them, and then we ended up just like
watching Diagnosis Murder.
Well, just seriously watching Sentinel and being like, nah, this is a good show.
Yeah, it's actually not bad.
Yeah, he's got superpowers.
Yeah, he's a guy that he has Native American superpowers. Yeah. I mean,
from being in the jungle too long.
Yeah, he was in the jungle too long. Then he goes back to Seattle, and he still has.
He can like smell pussy from a mile away.
He still has the the Amazonian superpowers.
Yeah.
Well, also, somehow Viper was also Native American, no?
Viper was not in any way, shape, or form Native American.
So how did he become the car?
Nobody becomes the car.
Well, what is the thing about the car?
Huh?
What happens in the show Viper?
The premise of Viper...
we watched the first episode.
The premise of Viper is a black scientist, a handicapped black scientist, a wheelchair-bound black scientist, invents a Dodge Viper that's also like a weapon for the police department.
Okay.
So he's a scientist at the police department that invents a Dodge Viper that turns into...
So there's no magic in Viper?
No. It's a Dodge Viper that turns into like it's got missiles and stuff, and it can go invisible and has all these things. But the car is too powerful and it can't be driven by any of the police officers. So they do these like simulations and they always like crash in the simulations. And then there's a leader of like a street gang of guys that drive Dodge Stealths. And they go around like Tokyo drifting.
They're like Fast and Furious style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's those kind of criminals, and one of them, his car flips and they take his body and they like fucking inject memories into his brain and convince him he was a cop. And so he wakes up and he thinks he was a cop, and then they just have him be the driver, and he's slowly starting to like learn his old life.
Oh shit!
But so then he has to like make peace with the fact, because he's like, I'm not a bad guy anymore, but I was in this.
He drives the missile car.
He drives the Viper, yeah.
So he's not doing it in like it's not like a remote control.
No, he drives the car.
He drives it, yeah. And then he's getting clues on his past life. Of like that he used to be.
Well, he figures out his past life pretty quickly.
Oh, pretty quick.
And then it's just solving crimes.
And then there's like guys from the old neighborhood come by and they're like, "What are you doing driving this guy?"
Yeah, I think the first episode might be one of those things, because I think the first show to do it, and I have no idea. I'm just gonna shoot from the hip on this one. I think the first show to do it was Miami Vice, where they shoot like a little TV movie as the first episode.
Oh, the premiere event.
Yeah. And I think they did that with Viper, which Miami Vice might not be the first, and they might not have even have done that with Viper. But I think the first one is like long.
Yeah, and really gets into the nitty gritty of the universe.
And as long as I'm saying things that are probably wrong, I think the black scientist is also the black scientist from Terminator 2.
That's pretty cool.
I'm almost positive that is 100% incorrect, but yeah.
Yeah. So that's like the wheelchair black guy trope in a movie. What do you think that like kind of gets at? Because they have that in The Matrix too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have a version of that as...
It starts obviously as a huge knockdown blowout fight in the writer's room about whether the scientist should be a Stephen Hawking or Neil deGrasse Tyson type.
And then they're like...
Someone's like, fellas, why don't we compromise?
Yeah, let's put them together.
Why don't we create a two-state solution where he's both handicapped and also black?
It's true. We've done so... I mean, I don't know what that accent was, but I assume it's a guy that's kind of like...
Television writer.
No, a coward, I thought. You know, like kind of someone that's like, let's get out of work early today.